And welcome everyone to another episode of Who's Got Clout here on Clout Forum with your host. I'm Mark Bentley from Perth, Western Australia. We have the magnificent Alex Broken from over in Russia. We're keeping this side of the world nice and hot in the DeSo world. And we have a very special guest today, one that shouldn't need much introduction on the platform, Mr. Cyrus Abraham. How you doing this morning, Cyrus?
I'm doing great, Mark. How are you?
I tell you what, I'm actually doing really good this morning. I had a good night's sleep. It's amazing how much that can change, hey, in these busy times. So, right. Cyrus, but before we jump into the conversation, for those that might be new to the platform, haven't seen you around, because you're one of the original OGs, been there from the very beginning, and like you said yourself, this conversation is well overdue because it's like we've been dancing around doing so many things. But for those that don't know you, just a very brief little introduction, and this is like what you have in your profile there as well. Cyrus Abraham finds purpose in bringing people together and empowering others to realize their vision, lending a voice to those without and walking the path less followed. You've built 3 big projects and been a part of so many more, 3 of those being NFT plus, NFT onboarding, ClubHouse marketing. So, we hear you in ClubHouse all the time, helping really build a network and connect. You've got Chess Kills, which first MP4 Collectible NFT project. So we've had MP4 on with the interview the other day, and he's an amazing guy. So, and then of course, Market Raider with the crypto creator coin signals. So you've been a very busy young man, Cyrus. How do you do it all?
Yeah. So for those that don't know me, I joined DeSo back in about mid-April. It's been quite a journey, and I've started a lot of projects and helped a lot of projects. And the time that we've been spending on DeSo, it's gone by so quickly. So it's crazy, when we think about, all the new people, you get so caught up in the fact that there's been thousands of new people that have joined over the last 2-3 months, and I have yet to meet a lot of them. So hopefully a lot of the new people see this and they reach out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's why we love doing this, because for one, Cyrus, this is kind of my excuse between Alex and I to get to corner you and so many of the other creators to be able to actually just have that one-on-one time while still creating on the platform, right? It's like getting creative. So, Cyrus, before we get into it, one thing that I'm actually not aware of, I know a lot about what you have been doing on the platform, but just in brief, what was your introduction to DeSo? Like, how did you come across it? And what were you doing beforehand? Like, what made you stick around?
Yeah, so I was doing real estate after I moved from San Diego back to DC, I think about 3 years ago. And I was doing residential real estate, multifamilies, single families, and I really liked doing that. And then all of a sudden, nice. COVID happened. And my office was actually the first positive COVID case in DC. So we were out of work before really anyone else was out of work, right? The lockdowns. And so for about 3-4 months, there was no activity really in the real estate market here. And so I switched into cryptos and finance. I had a crypto education signal company under Slap Stocks for about 1.5 years. And then I was working with Cody Kearns, who is an influencer down in Miami. And he's worked very closely with Grant Cardone. So long story short, if you were there back in the day when Grant Cardone joined DeSo, he would be hosting these ClubHouse rooms. And one day I heard about it. I jumped in there and I was like, all right, listen, if people that I know and talk to are getting in this, then I might as well try it. But back then it was, it was a scam. You couldn't, pull money out. So you didn't even really know what you're getting into.
We almost need to like NFT and get those scam videos and just have them as a collector's item, right? It's like big Clout's a scam.
Exactly. You can deposit, but you can't withdraw.
Yeah. It's so much of that craziness. Like I have so much compassion for people that try to that are building projects like this, because it's amazing how, how much backlash you get from just the masses, that don't really understand what's involved.
And what's crazy is looking back is like beginning, I just started out as, let me just work on creating a new social presence on this new platform. And then I think it was after 3-4 months in, I decided, you know what, between the mechanics on the platform and how different it is, it felt really liberating. And you could also earn a good amount while doing it. So I was like, you know what, let me go into it full time. And that was, I think, a couple of weeks after Illuminati Chris went full time. That kind of motivated me to go full time, because I was like, if he can do it, then I can do it. So that I've been, full time now probably for 3-4 months.
Fantastic. So you're legit full time, making a living off.
So like
DeSo.
to transition back into the story. So it was real estate, then it was the financial markets, and then I kind of stepped back from that. And I've really just gone full time into being a creator. And so, mainly just collabing and hosting spaces and trying to see where I can help people get funding and bring it all together. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's such a vital role. Like I really see, Cyrus, how, all around the platform that you really are, just like you say in your profile and in the introduction here, such an amazing networker. And I guess that comes from a real estate background, right? I mean, that's kind of part of the art form of the work, And this is one of the things I love about sales, right? When you really understand what true sales is finding what people are after and what people can offer and then connecting them together, right? It's a beautiful thing.
When you think about it, real estate has a lot of that. You got to find what evokes the emotion behind the space and build that common ground with the buyer and the seller. So like you really learn how to be a human, like a people person. And so I think that really helps bridge it into building social. And so what I've learned is like going back is there's such a small space right now that building the connections now is so important, man. Like, can you imagine when you finally 100x the DAU? Like, are you gonna reach out to Mark and be like, hey, I need a interview with you? He's like, yo, dude, I got like 100 DMs, I'll try to squeeze you in this year, So yeah, I think these early times are so important, man.
Absolutely, man. And I think this is something again, it's, at times I have to take a breath and return back to remembering not everyone understands this. They can't see the bigger vision, the bigger picture. And from their side, all they see is this little window of like, it's just another social media platform, not done very well because they don't quite get what's going on. But you've just nailed it on their head. I mean, the connections that I have made coming onto this platform with I didn't bring any of my history or anything. And to be able to then connect and speak to the caliber of creators and humans that are working, from investors to artists to musicians to this is one of the most valuable things. Because like you say, Cyrus, right now you can send a message and Pamela Anderson can see it, for example. Whereas when we 1000x, good luck.
Yeah. Like some of the conversations, on Instagram, you're not going to reach out to Pamela Anderson's son, Dylan, and have a conversation, right? Whereas like every single day we're talking to him, so it's just like one of those things where, you're able to bridge connections with people that you normally wouldn't in traditional social media, which is amazing. And then one thing that you were touching on was that the amplification here is wild. Like I was thinking back, even the closest college friends that I have, some of the friends I've made in the last 7-8 months are almost at the same level. I'm even closer to them now than I were to some of the college friends. So there's something about DeSo. There's some magic happening here.
Absolutely, man. I think it's that being on the cutting edge, right? Or the bleeding edge, as they can call it, of creation. Like we're literally exploring and, people go, oh, I just don't know how to. It's like, yeah, come and help work it out with us. Like we got to make it up. And that's why I love having Alex with me, by my side to have somebody. And like you say, he's now like this lifetime friend, that it's like we've only known each other for 6 months, but it feels like you say you've known each other for a lifetime, right?
I think it has to do with hyperactivity. Sorry, I was just saying, I think it has to do with hyperactivity because like If you look at Instagram and Facebook, my time on there, I'm not even on Facebook anymore for the last 2 years, but I would probably say like 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day is the most I'd spend in the last couple of years, right? Whereas like now it's like you're spending hours, like 5 minutes goes by and you haven't checked your notifications. You're thinking, did I miss something?
Yeah, let's check into it. And of course, there's so much happening off platform as well that it's that community. Whereas I've never had that on Facebook or Instagram or anything that I've used. I've never had it where, the friends on those platforms, I'll also jump off and jump into a Discord or jump off into a Clubhouse call and have a conversation with them. Whereas, like you say here, we're bumping into each other everywhere, right? Like, we might be in the same Clubhouse call or this or that. So you're seeing each other in so many different dimensions, which is exciting. And that's not even mentioning the metaverse that's on its way, right? What's going to come there.
Whole other conversation.
Yeah. Which brings me to asking, like, Cyrus, because you are one of the people that are so, deep in this vision, like, that are so active in the building and know the different things that are going on better than probably anyone. What are you most excited about that's happening right now and where things are going on the platform?
Yeah. So in regards to DeSo, I think right now the NFTs on the platform are elevating. So in the beginning, we saw a lot of spray and pray, like not real price discovery, a lot of manipulation.
Spray and pray.
Now,
I love that.
Now a lot of collectors are like getting more mature, and the creatives that are starting the projects are realizing, hey, listen, like if you're not doing utility or you're not really focusing on community every single week, your project's gonna burn out 2 to 3.5 weeks in. That's what's been going on. So I love seeing the people on the platform grow, and I think that's really cool. I think the play to earn space is going to be awesome. I mean, you have Los Vaculos. If I butchered the name, I'm sorry, but that's like the betting, I think, casino project that came out. It was backed by a lot of people, but that's one of the play to earns I've seen. I know Mini Clout's working on a play to earn. Chess Kills has a play to earn. I think Clout Cox is working on a play to earn. So there's a lot of different projects working on it. But I really think in the future, when you can just log in, whether it's the main node, any node, and just go to a game and, earn to your wallet, I think that's the future. And then to bridge back to what you're saying about metaverse, I think once we have a wallet where we can attach it to a metaverse, and so our wallets aren't just on chain, like we can on our iPhone app or wherever build that out, I think then we're really going to see the metaverse build out. And then you're going to see wearables and all sorts of stuff like that.
So it's going to get really exciting. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So while we're on NFTs, I mean, that is something of a speciality for you, right? You've helped launch a lot of projects, and I'm very fresh.
It's recent, man. I'm saying it. I'm recently proficient with it. Like when NFTs, like, listen, before Nader was like, NFTs are coming to DeSo, I'd only heard about it. I'd never messed around with it. And then when I realized that the whole platform was going that way, I literally knew 0%. And I was like, all right,
no way.
I better start crash studying. And so like I learned for like 6 hours on Google. And then I made a company called NFT Plus and NFT Loans back in the day, whatever. And then boom, they were made. And then a week later, NFT Plus was verified. And that was like the first verified NFT project on DeSo. So at that point, I was like, all right, look, I need to really get on point. I started like talking to my ETH guys, Solana guys. So I've just been running with it, honestly. So I've only been in this space for like 3 months.
I mean, hey, everyone watching this is a role model of the fact that when this is I can sometimes, as you can see, almost get overwhelmed when I kind of see the potential that is sitting in front of us. And then there's that frustration when people can't see it. And they're like, oh, it's like, man, this is like a post-World War economy right now. There is opportunity everywhere. There is need everywhere. So this is like an entrepreneur's wet dream right now. And you, my friend, are an example of what happens when you just apply yourself. You can learn very quickly.
I think it's the beauty of the Web3 vision that Nader has us all on right now, is that like anyone can build. If you believe, you can do it. Like there's no one stopping you, no one limiting you. It's never been easier before to start a project and have people support you. It's like Kickstarter on crack. If you have a network and you put an idea out there, everyone's like, Apin, support, Telegram. Overnight you have this huge thing where back in the day, like it wasn't like that. So, anyone can be anything. You just got to really work hard and be consistent, to be honest.
I think that's the thing, right?
That's the hardest thing, even for me on the consistency part, is Like you got to be careful on this platform because of the way it's hyperactivity. You gotta like watch out that your cup doesn't get empty. That's the one thing I've seen over time is like there are many burnout phases with DeSo because like you'll put in 40 to 60 hours a week and then you'll just forget to do the other things too. So I think to any entrepreneurs watching, be careful and make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly right. It's when like I can almost feel like the survival mechanisms in my body aren't used to having this much opportunity in front. And I've still got that old memory from when I was young and my dad saying, you got to work hard. Opportunity doesn't knock at your door, son. So all of a sudden when opportunity comes, right. So then you want to say yes to everything because like, oh, I don't want to miss an opportunity. Like I don't want to, but then all of a sudden it's like, you can't say yes to everything. It's like you got to stay focused.
It is for me. I really thought about this long and hard. It's like, so I grew up right after the .com boom and all of that. Like I was born in 93. So like right
93, you're just a young one, Cyrus.
I am very young, yeah. But when all that was taking off, I was like, only reading about it or watching about it. Like I was a kid. And so growing up, I'd always was fascinated with Bill Gates and like building the internet and technology. And like, I used to dream and idolize that stuff. And then I learned the Web3, like, we can all build right now. I was like, all right, I don't need to move to Cali. I can do this right here from DC. The digital rush is here. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. It is, man. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And I think when you were talking about the what is it, pay to play, this concept, like this is where for the first time I'm seeing things that, because I've always looked at decentralizing economics. How do we do this? How do we decentralize politics? And we're really seeing with blockchain, right, a complete restructuring of economics where because I think people forget that being a consumer is a very valuable thing, because without a consumer, there is no business, right? And now for the first time, we're starting to see, like with pay to play, the consumer action is being rewarded, and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be one hell of a world. And it really does come down to who gets to be in control of the profiles, all those things. So.
And just to add to that, the play to earn, I encourage like everyone to build on DeSo because in the play to earn space, because if you think about what drives engagement, you got videos, but then also any gamification, right? So the more games that we can bring to the platform, the higher you're going to see the DAU and the less you're going to see the retention, the churn. So that's
wise words.
Huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love games, man. I used to back in the day do some professional gaming. So like for me,
what kind of games did you play?
Just mainly MMOs. So any PC based games, I was really into that. Probably around when I was like between 16 to 18. But yeah, man, who's to say as adults we can't earn crypto? Who's to say we can't play? Alex is asking in the chat for me to spill which games. I can't. I'm not gonna do that right now. But essentially, I mean, like honestly though, like why not? If I can play a game and after 2 hours earn a DeSo, that's like $100. Like I would do that all day. So that's what.
And that's pretty wild.
Games are dangerous. Like some people come out with these crypto gambling games, and I'm like, Cyrus, don't do it. And then it's like 2 in the morning. I'm still
I gotta say, man, I jumped on the Vegas one, and when they launched it, and it worked, and I thought, okay, well, let's test it, let's see this, and they give you that free bit of DeSo, and I ran it, and then I got I thought, okay, I'm just gonna hit it, and ended up pulling out like a little bit of money, and I was like, it's only $10 or something, which the free money in the end once you'd gone through it. So I was able to test the full process. And then I had to do the same. I was like, and we could also have a problem here. It's like, I better not start on this one.
There was this, I forget the name of it right now, but there was this other like poker blackjack game where like I earned a couple of DeSo winning against other people, but they also came out with like a referral program. And so I was sharing my link, right? And I think after like 2 days, I had like 4 DeSo I had earned. So all in all, 6 DeSo in 2 days. And I was like, man, if this is the future of gaming on DeSo, we're all in. We're all in, right? Me and you will sit here all night and we'll play these games. We don't need to go anywhere else.
Right. And that's a beautiful part with the way the metaverse and things are going. You're still socializing, still hanging out, and you're still getting to be there. Of course, make sure we get some sunlight every now and then. So yeah, I got to say, man, I think about what
I would love to. Go ahead.
You go ahead. No, you go, Cyrus.
I was gonna say, I would love to like literally go in the metaverse and then see like everyone in Clubhouse. I would love to like see their avatars in this like amazing world. And I would love to run around, you know, in that world with them. And I feel like that'd be a whole crazy, because we do these like physical meetups, right? Like we organize it and we go to Tampa, right? And then there's been always, you know, Clout's coming in New York. But imagine for those of us that can't fly out or physically attend, you can virtually just be there in the metaverse.
It'd be unreal. The way what I keep on imagining is like, you know, Zoom rooms are great. Like Nacho Average was fantastic. That's where I first met you in those groups. You know, if I saw you in person, and it's in those groups. But of course, then you've got a challenge. You've still only got one audio in and out, and everyone's in the same space right up in the front. Whereas in this metaverse, how cool it'd be that, you know, you and I could be standing there, you know, everyone talking, and then I kind of say, "Hey, Cyrus, what was that project? You want to just go out, get a drink?" And we could just walk over to the virtual bar, and then the sound gets a little quieter. So we can still hear them. We can still stay in tune. But now you and I can have a quiet conversation by the bar. And it's like in this virtual world. And I think that's going to add so many dynamics. I could imagine you popping from group to group, you know, just jumping in, bringing your energy. And it's going to be a fun time. Absolutely. So Cyrus, just being respectful of the time as well. It's very little of that, and we got so much to create. So just in the last few minutes of the time you and I have together before I hand you to Alex for his fun questions, what is it that you know, is there anything that you really want to share with everyone? Something right now in regards to the platform, something you're working on, or anything that you want to do shout outs to?
That's an interesting question to ask me, because usually you know, my job is to elevate others. So some people cross that off as shilling. I just say, you know, it's part of the role, you know, we call whatever. But honestly, I'm not going to do that today. Instead, I'm just going to say this is that everyone should just keep focused on being the best creator they can, make the best content that you can. Really, it's all about reaching outwards and forging those connections. You don't need to really shill or market yourself hard on Clubhouse or on chain. Just really build these networks. Like, for example, I can't replace or ask a favor or get the connection I have with you just from asking for it, right? I've worked for it for months. You know, we've been around the same spaces, and I think that's what's invaluable. And I think those people are the ones that are going to help you succeed here, you know, on the decentralized protocol. It's going to be like the people who you're affiliated with, because at the end of the day, Clout now DeSo is a trust currency. So even going back to the principle of who's on your cap table and who supports you, it's not really about the monetary. It's more about the symbolism. And so I feel like a lot of people might get caught up on the lulls or the money side of things. But I think if you were to focus on underlying technology and the people, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I think a lot of people should just keep their head up, and not that they're not, but just stay happy, stay focused, and everything that's meant to come will come. So I thought that was a nice change instead of shilling. So I wanted to.
Cyrus, there's nothing more to say to that, man. That right there, Alex, we should get that as a cut and a short little video to post up, because I think right there, you nailed it, man. You nailed it. So I really appreciate it, man. And Cyrus, I hope we get to do this more often and find more excuses to hang out, because I really appreciate your energy and what you bring to the platform, and you as a person, and the fact you rock in such a wicked cap. So
yeah, we're gonna have to grab a virtual drink. We'll do a one-on-one, and I'll bring a beer. We can
let's do that. Let's do that. I'll have to send you some of our gin. We have a distillery on the property.
Yeah,
we'll send it across.
You've been telling me this for months.
I tell you, I'm going to talk to get an NFT, and whoever buys the NFT gets a bottle of gin sent. I'm going to make this happen.
There we go. Let's do it. I'll buy it.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Likewise. All right, Alex, how you doing there, my friend? Is your internet connection holding up? We got some questions for you.
It seems it's fine. So yeah, I can join. And Cyrus, now it's a challenge time. So I have some really hard questions for you. So be ready to answer them honestly, and just be ready, man. So my first question is very hard, I think. Do you have a favorite color of eyes? I mean, when you meet a woman and you see these eyes, you're realizing that you are in trouble.
Dude, I heard ice like water. And I was like, favorite color of ice. What? All right, so favorite color of eyes. I don't know. I would say this is tough. I don't know. I like hazel eyes a lot. Hazel eyes or what I like.
Awesome. I thought you would say laser eyes, like the one that
No.
has.
I was giving you a serious answer.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Okay,
good.
Cyrus, are you a left
You
or
made me
right hand?
sweat, man. You told me these were challenges. I was like, what in God's name is he gonna ask me? All right, go ahead. What's next?
Are you a left or right-handed?
Right.
Awesome.
Although I have practiced with my left many times. I will admit that.
Oh,
So I want to
yeah.
learn how to do both hands without, having the natural gift.
I don't know why, but when I see a person, I can tell that he is more like left-handed. I don't know why how it happens, and
It's a
I
gift.
just saw it from you,
It's a
and that's
gift
why
that
I'm
you
asking this. Yeah. By the way, so you are doing a lot of stuff for the NFT community on DeSo, and you're promoting many people and projects here. And I just want to know, have you ever tried to do an NFT art by yourself? I mean, drawing things.
I have actually. So when I went to Asheville to visit Mercury, my dad was with me, and he recently got into NFTs, and so he's been working on DeSo Birds, which is actually done now. We just haven't launched it yet. And one night on the iPad, he was like, "All right, you want to try it?" And I was like, "Of course, I want to try it." So I started just drawing. Like at the time, I was really into crypto kitties, and so I drew like a nuclear kitty, like a really fucked up looking crypto kitty with like a bomb dropping in the background and like a whole mushroom cloud. And I can actually send you guys this photo. It's actually on the chain, but it's really funny, and it's my first NFT that I've ever drawn. But on a creative element, Chess Kills is the first project of mine, and also my partner Aswad, who are working on it, where I'm really closely involved in. So I'm happy about that. One day I will be able to hand draw my own series. That'd be great.
Amazing. By the way, I think you should post this first picture that you've drawn by yourself, and we'll honor it by liking, diamonding, and so on.
It's on the chain. I think it's an NFT Plus feed, like way back, like a month ago or something. So.
Oh, refresh it. I'd like to see it.
I'll have to repost it for you.
Okay. Thank you. Champion, what do you eat for breakfast?
Ooh, you guys know I like my breakfast. All right. So it's funny. Fun fact. If it's a Monday through Friday, I don't eat breakfast. I normally I wake up late, or I start so early, I just forget to eat. And then next time I eat is normally around like 8 p.m. So sometimes I'll go like 15 hours without eating, which is really unhealthy. And then on weekends, Saturday and Sundays, typically I like to wake up, make eggs, add some, some bread in there, some fruits in there, some, coffee and all that. Maybe I'm sure you've seen the pictures by now, but I tried to come up with an aesthetically appealing plate just for DeSo at least once a week, because they seem to really like it. Awesome. There's no real food.
Well, let me rephrase the question. What was the best breakfast you've ever had? Was it after the good night with someone, or it was real?
No. The best breakfast I've ever had was probably honestly just like me waking up. I smoked the joint, just whipped up something in the kitchen, put on my favorite music, was just in my own vibe, doing my little dance, flipping some eggs, just some basic, me time. So yeah, that's probably the best.
The breakfast is more about the mood that it creates, not about the food.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. You're so funny. Oh my God.
Man, we've all used a lot of usernames for different purposes in our web life. What was the most ridiculous one you've ever used? Maybe in your games?
Username in my love life? Is that what you...
Web life.
These questions are escalating. I thought the first one was the hardest. I've definitely used no fake aliases. I'm so dead. All right, no fake aliases. I can't help you with that.
No,
might be a personal thing for you.
That can't be true. When you're playing in games, you have your.
Oh no,
he didn't mean love life, man. He didn't mean love life.
No, I thought he meant love life. I was like, this is a very odd question.
Web.
No, but in the games, the alias I've used for like over 10 years is Mayoken. It's Mayokeen.
But what was
And
the
that
most ridiculous?
that's like
Big
the
king,
only.
big boss, big cock, or something like
No,
this, maybe?
no. I know it sounds very tempting, but no, just Mayoken. And
Okay.
that's
Hey,
a really
Alex.
funny story because if you ask me why I even had that alias, it's because
Yeah.
of the move Kaioken, but that name was taken, right? So I switched the K to an M because I liked Mayo, which is random, and then Mayoken was available, and I ran with it for 10 years. So
Wow.
that's just what happened.
Yeah. Happy
That's
case.
not this first public information I think I've ever, not even back in the day that I ever revealed the reason. So there you go.
Oh, cool, man. So you told us the story how you decided to go full job mode for DeSo, and Chris
Yeah.
was the one who pushed you to that. So when you are
Yes.
doubting, hesitating to doing something essential in your life, what the tool or method for you to overcome it and make a final decision on something? What helps you in that decision making?
This is a deep question. So when I'm really feeling it, like really in the rough, and recently I went through this actually a couple of weeks ago, but I try to focus on the pain or the uncomfort that I'm feeling, and I try to amplify that really hard for like an hour. And the reason why I do that is because I tell myself if I can just let myself feel everything I'm feeling to the most and not limit it and then just release it and let it go, that's the only way to move forward, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, whether it's self-doubt, whatever it is. And for me, that works. Otherwise, like I'll dwell on it for hours or days. But if I can just make myself feel whatever it is for an hour and just move on, that's been healthiest for me. And sometimes you can really just beat yourself up about things. And I realize that at the end of the day, you're probably your worst enemy. So as soon as you can control your emotions, then that's probably when you're, I want to say, the most dangerous, because nothing is then going to be able to like limit you. So that's been a skill that I've been trying to hone. That's a really good question.
Mhm. And when you are going dive deep in your soul and trying to come up with the answer, and then you can quote yourself that you are in this position. Do you go to someone else to talk about it, to give some advice, or you just staying with yourself?
That's a great question. I think when I was younger, I would always be trying to ask for a peer advice or peer opinion. But I think the last couple of years, especially since COVID, I've been a lot more private. I've been a
Mhm.
lot more thinking to myself, coming up with my own conclusions, not trying to be cumbersome towards other people. Everyone
Mhm.
has their own weight, and the last thing I want to do is put mine on others. So that's been a shift recently.
Yeah, I think this is a very wise decision, but because sometimes those who are going for advice for someone, they're looking not for the advice, but to remove responsibility from themselves, then they're making decisions. So when something is happening due to his decision, they just think that it was a bad advice, not their decision. Yeah, and what you
I
are telling
also,
me
I
is
also
just
just to add to that, Alex, I think that it's best to come up with your own path forward and like solution making, because if you always defer to others, then you don't hone that skill of being able to act in the moment and under pressure. And I think to really move up in life in different ways, that you need to be able to act like that. And so the only way to build that experience is just to push through.
yeah. And my last question is about this decision-making process, because I think it can be very useful for those who can watch it. Uh, do you make decisions like with the snap of your fingers? When something first comes to your mind and you just making this decision. For example, Mark going to you and asking, "Do we need to do this or we need to do this?" And you are saying, "Give me some time," or you can just make a decision with a snap of your finger.
So for me, I'm very impulsive by nature, but I'm also very quick with my thinking. So when you combine the two, usually I'm often to give a quick response back. I think the first thing I do is I try to break it down in my head. Like, is this is it a deep question or is it surface level? If
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
surface level, it's like, yeah, sure, this, that. If it's like multiple layers of complexity and logistics and XYZ, then I may be like, listen, let me defer and get back to you in 15, 20 minutes or an hour. So it depends how much thought. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just to clarify for the audience, the first part of questions I've asked were about the personal decisions that are very essential in the life, and it takes a lot of much more time. And the last question I asked, it was about some decisions in the work or just in real life that doesn't require much time. But
yeah, I would say all around, Alex, I'm able to make decisions pretty quickly. I mean, there's been a couple moments in my life where I've had to choose real fast, whether I'm staying in one place or moving across the country, or, I remember the day where, on Tuesday I was going to college, and by Wednesday morning I had the conviction all of a sudden to drop out of school and, not go that route through college. And so, similarly in DC, had no real network in California, and just overnight called my dad, hey, I'm leaving. This is just what I want to do. $500 in my bag. Just went out there for 2 years and just did what I wanted to do. So I'd say most of my life I've been able to make, those kind of decisions pretty quick.
Awesome.
And I think just, sorry, you're making my mind run. But I think to go deeper on this, it's, for me, I don't really have any sense of attachment to too many things. Like, I don't have an attachment to a physical place or emotionally necessarily to any individual or even like that. So for me to be able to just really move around and just pick up and disappear or travel or just come back in 3 years and I'll check in with you then, it's where I'm at right now. So
awesome.
I've been like that probably since 14.
Yeah. Thank you for your insights, man. So my last question will be the hardest one, I think. And you need to be prepared for it. Take your time. So it's quite common when the person married to a woman takes his surname. But what if you would have a chance to choose a name for your woman? I mean, to your wife. So when you marry, you can give her a surname and choose a name for her. What name would it be?
So to clarify, if I'm not giving her my last name, what name would I give her instead if I was to give a name?
Yep. First name, not surname. First name, I mean.
Oh, like if okay. So if her name is Ashley and I wanted to just change her first name just to change it, what I do?
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yes. So she started a new life, and as a new life with you, she needs to be.
So we need new passports and everything. What's her first name? All right.
Yes.
Mark, is this normal? Does he normally put us on the spot like this?
I'm sitting here going, Alex, not sure if you're aware, you're setting Cyrus up for a very tricky answer here. If you as a man could change a woman's name, it's a bit dangerous.
This is a challenge. And by the way, just in our defense, we are living in our own metaverse, and those laws of our metaverse are very diversified.
No, how about reframing it like this? If you were with a AI partner who is your partner in crime, your lover in the metaverse, and you're getting chased by the police and you have to get away and change her name, what name would you change it to? Does that take a little bit of politicalness out of it?
Probably I would take political side of it by suggesting the same question to a female when we'll have a podcast with someone. Okay, so
but to answer your question,
she'll have a chance to rename her husband.
Yeah, but to answer your question, it's Ava. It's AVA. So that's the name I like.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. So I've received all the answers, and thank you so much for your resistance in answering my provocative ones. It was cool, and you've managed to do it very well, man.
Look, under pressure, you know what I'm saying?
That was priceless. Cyrus, this is what I love about Alex. He surprised me constantly. It's like sometimes you get away with the easy ones. Sometimes even I'm sitting there squirming, going, "Oh, Alex!"
I'm gonna have to go back and replay my facial expressions real time while he's reading me the questions.
Well, I tell you what, we've got Raj Lahoti has just commented in there saying this is so good and that he's literally lolling right now. So he's loving it. Zach Mead has been tuning in, just commented dead, DED. So I assume Zach's enjoying it.
Yeah, these
and we've also
are
got Kenny
crazy.
J in there.
Yo, we need a podcast, man. We need some real personalities coming out. This is wild. I haven't been asked these kind of questions ever. I'm sweating over here. I'm like, yo, what would I do in this situation? Yo, Alex, I'll give you a bonus question. I know you didn't script for it. I'll give you one bonus question. I'll put you on the spot.
Okay, man. So my last question will be about the place that you love. Because my typically questions that I'm asking every speaker, almost every guest, is about food or place that you want to visit. So everyone can share what we should see in this beautiful world.
All right. Okay.
He went soft on you there.
No. I'm good. I've been to quite a few places. I was trying to think. Mykonos, Greece is probably my favorite place. The weather's really nice. The energy is really good. Food, drinks, very good. Nightlife, very good. If you go there in the summer, I mean, the all-white beach parties are super, super, super fun. People stay up till like 4 in the morning. If that's not your scene, there's other cool things to do. There's great things to see out there. I'm trying to think where else. If you haven't been to Sweden, that's probably my number 2. In the summer, they have like 20 hours of sunlight. So one time we're staying down there, there's like little on the water, all glass walls, and there was no curtains. And no one told me there's 20 hours of sunlight. So I remember it was like 4 in the morning and there's sun blinding you coming in. So, but get in a little boat, go to the fish market, get a salmon, go back, grill it. I mean, it's a good life. So the world's beautiful, man. So post-COVID, you got to get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are very cool and beautiful people there for sure.
Like all of you.
And as Mark said, I've been soft on you, so I have a hard one for you as well. So, a dinner with Pamela Anderson or Dylan?
Are you making me choose between the mom and the son?
I mean, who would you prefer to talk?
Pamela all day. I don't care. Even 10 years from now, I will still choose her. I'm sorry, Dylan, for the record on chain. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
Dylan, we can go out for a coffee, man, while they're at dinner. Okay, I'll back you up. I'll be your wingman, Cyrus.
Oh man, you guys are cool.
Dylan,
Pamela, if you see this, call me.
Yeah, Dylan, just
awesome.
I wanted to say sorry if you are seeing this and feeling bad. So it was a question just for fun. I hope you won't take it serious.
And get your ass on the podcast. We want to chat to you, Dylan. We'd love to have you on for season 3. Awesome, Alex. Thank you, my friend. Always, Cyrus. It's one of my favorite parts. It's like a scratch and win ticket. You get to just enjoy the first half where I have my conversations with anyone, and then I get to sit back and just enjoy the tension.
There was no tension. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Cyrus, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I want to do a big shout out everyone that tuned in. We've got, who have we got here? We've got Zach tuning in. We've got Raj. We've got Matreshka, who's here with us now. Kenny J, who's also, if you haven't checked out Kenny J, we just saw his awesome collection of guitars before he jumped in here. Awesome, man, doing amazing things. And of course, the one and only Cyrus Abraham. Cyrus, thank you. And let's do this again. Let's keep this conversation
rolling. Appreciate you, man. I just want to say you're one of my favorite people on the platform because you've been killing it with these podcasts. And I love people that do podcasts. And your energy is amazing. I love your energy. I love Alex's energy. I mean, again, I've been asked in many interviews, but never did I feel the way Alex made me feel for those 5 minutes. So I appreciate you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a Norwegian passport. So let's do a DeSo gathering it's not Sweden, but it's even better. So I'm going to take you to Norway, Cyrus. I'll make sure Alex is with us and we'll rock it out with that salmon.
Thanks.
All right, guys, tune in for the next one and we'll see you all soon. Thanks for joining us.
All right.